Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope that you're doing phenomenal. I'm starting a little bit earlier today because we have some personal issues that we have to take care of. We had a death in the family. So this is the only show I'm going to do this week because it is Thanksgiving as well. And we're going to focus on family this week. And we will be back next week. But I also want to take a minute and talk to you about personal leadership and why that's important for all of us. I've had some clients who were not that personal when it came to their leadership style. And once I started working with them, not only were they happier, but their employees were happier. And guess what? Production went up. Their employees were made to feel as if they mattered, and that changed the dynamic of the company. So why is it that we need to make it personal as a leader? For example, I had a client who would walk by a person, sometimes not even say good morning because they were rushing. But on a particular day, and I found this out later, they walked by the person, they didn't even say a word, they just put their hand up and kept walking. And then they called their secretary and said, "Hey, tell Joe to come in." Meanwhile, they just passed by Joe. They could say, "Joe, can I see you in a couple of minutes?" Or whatever, in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And it was my client wanted Joe to take care of something. But meanwhile, he was not personable enough to stop, talk to Joe for a minute and a half, maybe. And so when that was brought to my attention, because once I start working with a person, I want to know what it is that they want to accomplish. What is it about their bottom line? How do they function on a daily basis? How do they talk to other people? So once I found this out, I questioned him, and he said, "You're right. I could have done that." And I said, "Why didn't you?" He goes, "Well, I never do that." He goes, "That's why I have a secretary." I said, "Okay. Do you only talk to your secretary when she's behind her desk? Or do you talk to her in the hallway? And he goes, "Oh, good point." So the more we started looking at the way he ran his business, the more he understood that each one of his employees mattered, including, and I said to him, I said, "Who cleans your bathrooms?" He goes, "I don't know." I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Because that's not important." I said, "Well, let's back up a little bit. If it's not important, why are they there?" "Well, I need the bathrooms cleaned." "Okay. Do you think they matter? Do you think they matter to their spouse or their children or their partner or their family?" He goes, "Of course they matter." I said, "But they're here. They're your family now. Why don't they matter?" So I kept showing him all different ways of how each one of his employees mattered. They matter. And when he started understanding that being more personable made a difference, because he's like, well, what does that matter if I don't know if I know their name or whatnot? I said, well, do they get a bonus? He goes, I don't take care of that stuff. I said, why not? Again, are you involved in your operations? Don't get me wrong. By the way, this was not a big company. I think he had 12 employees working for him. And one of them was the person that cleaned. They dusted, they ordered the plants, they did all these different things. When it comes to now, if you have a huge corporation and you have thousands of people working for you, yeah, it may be hard to know their names. It may be hard to understand that they get a bonus, how much and what, so forth and whatnot. But you have the right people in place, and they, in turn, when it comes down, right? When we go down the pyramid, if you will, because you have your top, which is you, and then you have people under you and people under them and people under them and so forth until you get to to the front line, if you will. Every one of those people needs to understand that everyone below them matters. Everyone below them matters. So if you have somebody who is leading a team of 30 people, they should get to know who they are. If you have a team of people who are leading 150 people, that's too many people to be leading at once. And I think that you need a second person, a second tier, a third tier, in order to fulfill everybody's needs properly. So you do need a hierarchy, people in charge of others. But it's probably, in my opinion, you can be the leader of 1,500 people, but then there should be other people who are below you to help with that. Everybody counts. Everybody matters, and that's how I help our business understand that leadership is personal. Leadership is personal, and we need to get into it on a regular basis. For example, you walk by Joe, let's say, and you want to talk to Joe and you want to bring him to your office. Well, you don't have somebody else get Joe. When you pass right by him, you go, "Hey, Joe, can you come by my office around 11:30, please? I need to go over some things with you." And then before you even start that conversation, if it's Monday morning, you go, "Hey, Joe, how are you today?" "Great. How's your weekend?" So you spend a minute and a half, 2 minutes getting to know them, asking personal questions. How's the family? How's your little things that make a difference. And that's how we get into the personal leadership role that every one of our employees matters. And then you ask simple questions. How was your weekend? How's your kids doing? I heard that your son got accepted into this college or whatnot. How's it going? Those simple questions let people know that they matter, that they count. And you don't have to stop and do that with 30 different employees, but you can pick one or two, and tomorrow you pick other ones or whatnot. And along the week, by the end of the week, you should have been in contact with every one of your, say, 30 employees. My client who had 12 employees, he sometimes didn't even talk to them at all during that week, except when he needed something from them. But that has changed. His company has actually grown. When it used to be 12. Now I think it's think it's 23 at this point. And he was able to grow because of the way he treated his employees, and they did more for him. So consider business. Business is about helping others understand how they matter. The minute you can do that, wow, can I tell you? It's gonna be really intentional, and it's going to be personal. And these individuals who work for you, it may be difficult for you if you don't do it on a regular basis, but the more you do it, it's a habit. It becomes a habit. All of a sudden, you become truly interested in their lives. It's almost like you're reading a book. It's like, wow, this is a book. These are my employees, and I get to know a little bit about their story. And now you've made them matter. You've made them matter. And that I believe is so, so important. If you have a company and if you're interested in learning how to run your company a little better, reach out to me. SifuRafael.com. I help so many people in so many different ways. But every day, just talk to your employees. That's my biggest tip for you today. Just get to know who they are, why. Even say, hey, maybe you didn't hire them. And if you did hire them, did you ask them why they wanted even to work for you? If you never got that question asked, find out. Say, hey, when there was a question I meant to ask you, and I know I didn't. Why did you want to work for my company? Find out. It may make a huge difference, or it could be just, I was just looking for a job. Okay, now that you're here, what do you think? You can't do that on day one. You have to give them a chance to get to know your leadership style, and hopefully, your leadership style is one that they want to stick around for, not one that all they care about is the money. But it becomes family to them. It becomes because they spend a lot of time with you. If they work for you for 40 hours a week, they're in your position, your place, probably 45 hours a week because maybe they're taking lunch, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're coming a little early, staying a little later. Maybe it's 50 hours a week. Take care of your people, and they will take care of you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Like I said, I'm not doing any of the shows this week, not only because it's Thanksgiving, but because we had a death in the family, and we want to be with family. So this week is going to be all about family. It's all going to be about the people who are still with us, um, how we need to be there for them. So thank you and God bless. Have a beautiful and rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next Monday. Have a great one.